Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. Here we are in a new pick a card reading, and I wanted to show you a few of my new charms. I've been traveling for the longest time since the COVID thing. I've been away from my main office and my main desk, so there's a lot of things that I don't have on me. I've been getting by with a few stones and a few decks. And so I've been doing a bit of shopping through my very interesting travels. Hopefully I'll have a chance to share some things with you. And I was really excited to find a few really interesting and super cute charms in a few antique stores around Damascus. So I've got here a goblet, and I really want to use this one today. This is so pretty. I think it's copper, I think it's brass. I can't really tell, and the folks who sell them, they don't always know what they're made of. I've got this pair of scissors. I love this one. This is so cute. And a lot of these you can sort of wear as, as a charm around your neck and a necklace. Like you can slip a chain through the holes in here. There is this Arabic coin. There's like some Arabic calligraphy on this. This is so pretty as well. It's got a hole as well, and it's also something you can wear. There is this feather here. I love this one because it has this hole in here. It looks like a peacock kind of feather. It also has a different color, so it's not silverish. And then there is this key, very pretty as well. And this key, I love this key more than this one. I mean, I like all keys. I think the key is one of the prettiest symbols in any system. And this one is an antique clock key. I just love this thing. I spent a bit of time cleaning them and taking care of them, polishing them up, and just sort of infusing them with some fresh energy. I think I want to use this one today as well. I really like the hook. I'm vegan. I don't believe in animal violence or eating animals, but I like the symbol of a hook, the idea of hooking in your decision making, locking into a sort of goal, and also possibly a symbol of attraction, right? Where you sort of have someone hooked. And this is the way I look at the symbol, like never animal violence. And there is this lock. It doesn't have a key. It's so super cute. I love it. It sort of have this heartish shape. It was also something I found in an antique store. And finally, this teardrop, what they call a pear around here. So I like this as well. You can sort of wear this as well. It has a little hole for a chain. It's super, super pretty. So I wanted to show you a few of my new charms, adding some things to my collection to sort of change away from the stones a little bit. And so for today, we're going to do 5 readings. And let's see, I want the hook, I want the coin, the feather, I want the clock key, and the scissors and the goblet. Let's use these 5 for our reading. So I'm going to figure out the order. Let me put these aside for now. Well, for another reading. And here, focus in on these. Did I say 5 and I have one too many? That's 4, 5. Yeah, I do have one too many. Let's see. Which one do I pick? I'll go for the clock key, the hook, the coin, and the goblet and the feather. Okay, so let's leave the scissors aside for today. So let's focus in on these 5 symbols. You'll find them in your timestamps. Let me go over them once more. So this is a goblet. This is the clock key and the hook, little hook, and the Arabic calligraphy coin. So pretty. I love it. And this lovely feather. Okay, so you'll find the timestamps in the description box. I'll go with the order. I'll play it by ear for the order. Just find the timestamps in the description box, and I'll see you in your reading. Remember, what we're doing is 1 month from today. Did I mention that already? We are looking at a reading for 1 month from today. So this is a timeless reading, obviously, and so anytime you tune into it, you are looking at what's ahead for you a month from now. So I'll see you in your reading. All right, here we are with the clock key reading, and we are looking at what's ahead for you a month from today. For your reading, I want to do a portrait Of course, my deck is shuffled. It is every time between readings. And for the portrait, I like to fan out the deck and select the cards. All right, lovely spread here. There's a wonderful new beginning that is very clearly indicated through the child. And then the star covers your first card, and that is always a lovely message because the star is the card of wish fulfillment and healing and all of that good stuff happening, sometimes as if by magic, like a miracle. And so this is a very lucky energy, especially when it figures on the first card. In the center, we have the man. This points to a gentleman. This can be anyone, but usually it is someone who is important for you. So this can be someone like a partner, like a boyfriend, like a husband. It can be a brother, a sibling, a colleague, a manager, anyone who has quite a bit of significance on your affairs. What's curious is that we have the snake at the end of the first diagonal, and on top of that, this is a bit of a challenging set of cards here, but what is nice is the context of the star and the child, which tells me that you could be breaking away into a new beginning. You could be breaking away from this person. I think it's possible because as we'll see in this column, maybe he turns out to be not so trustworthy. And on top of that, there's that powerful first diagonal. Okay, let's get into each of the lines, put the picture together. We have the star, man, and snake in the first diagonal. Obviously, this is someone who has a personal agenda. This is someone who can be really tricky, who is not transparent. They're very sharp, they're very smart. And so this person could be someone you need to be aware of. So you need to be cautious about this person's intentions. Now, the thing about the star is that it really protects you from any of the challenges here and here. It's really nice to see the star on your first card because it's a really protective card. But I also feel that because it's a card of light and brilliance, it can help you see through this person, see through this person's agenda. So that is a major protective element that comes into play for you. In the second diagonal, we have the tree, man, and scythe. There could be a major revelation coming through from this person. I think it could be a bit of a shock, and I think it pours into the first diagonal. So the tree says that this is someone with whom you had a relationship unfolding. Maybe it's someone you'd known for a while. They were neutral, nothing big happening around them, and then there is a sharp revelation or a shocker that comes through, and you sort of see them in a different light. And I think this builds nicely on the first diagonal where you've got here the idea that you figure them out, and so it's possible that they do something and it turns your attention and it changes your perspective in this way. I think in general this line is neutral, but when you take it in the context of this diagonal and then you tie the two in this column, then it sort of takes on a bit of a different influence. Let us turn to the columns. I want to look at the columns. The star, child, and tree. This is lovely. You're about to get what you want. This new beginning that you want, this new beginning, it is coming through for you a month from now. The tree slows things down a little bit. So it's sort of like you start into this new beginning, you take these first steps. There's no need to rush into change. It's important that you take the first steps. Also, take them gradually. So grow gradually. Watch where you're growing. Watch what is that next step you're taking. Even though it's perfect for you and it's perfectly aligned with what you want, it still matters for you to take those steps gradually. It's also possible that you get a promotion on the job, or you grow in that certain way, and it answers your wishes. So it is very, very lovely. Now, these two columns are challenging, but what we're seeing is that you make this change and you release what is in the way of your of this new beginning. So the book, Man and Mouse, just like we saw in the first diagonal and we talked about briefly, this is someone who is keeping something from you. Very clear. When we've got the book and mouse, when we've got the man and mouse and the book and man, any way you look at these cards, there is something, piece of information that is being kept away from you. And I think this man is keeping things from you. Now, because of this first diagonal here with a very powerful star, it's very possible that you discover what it is they've been hiding. And I think that's a good thing for you because it helps you see things differently and it's going to help you break away. Before I get to this, just a couple of more words about the central column and this man. This is not someone you can trust, okay? It's not only because of the mountain, but it's also because of the snake. These two cards are warning cards when it comes to relationships. This is not someone you can trust. So yes, he's keeping things from you, something he's keeping under his hat, not sharing information. All of this is applying. But what I would also say is that you don't share things with him. Okay, keep in mind, this is not someone whom you can trust easily. Now, scythe, snake, garden, and snake. So the garden and snake is a snake in the grass. This is a trap or a bite waiting to strike. And because of the scythe, it's possible that it does strike. But because of your star, you saw this coming. So on your way to a new beginning, on your way to making this change that you desire, some people, some things, some shady character wants to get in your way, and you see through them and you're able to figure them out. So I think this is a preventive sort of set of cards. They help you see beforehand so that you can prevent the issue, and that's great. But what I'm also seeing through this combination here is that you are moving away from a toxic group of people or a toxic relationship, probably this person, and anything that goes along with him. Now, this can be a divorce situation. I'm not seeing the ring. Usually I need the ring for a sharp outcome like a divorce, but it's also possible, right? It can be more or less flexible. There's definitely a piece of advice to break away from toxic people, toxic environments, and the sort of people that you can't trust. And we see that this column T crosses the central row, and this is the child, man, and garden. So you could be moving on from someone, pairing up with another, or collaborating with another. This new environment also involves some people or another gentleman. And it's important that as you move or you transition into this new beginning, you let go of the toxic stuff, and you spend more time with the people who are actually going to be supportive. It's also possible, I have to say, that there is someone whom you need to keep this change away from. So there is this person with whom you can't really share that you're making this change or you're moving into this new beginning. I just don't see that they're supportive or that they understand or that they're even going to be part of your new energy in this situation, So look, you need to be selective, right? The people who don't really align with you, you sort of move away, okay? They don't have to know everything about you. They don't have to be aware of what you're up to. They're just not on the same wavelength, so you don't need to waste your energy on them. Let's turn to the rows since we spoke about this central row. We've got the star, book, and scythe. This is lovely. This is a very powerful revelation. It ties into the second diagonal, and of course, which we tied to the first. So, whatever this information that's being kept from you, whatever this guy is keeping away from you, hiding from you, not sharing, you're going to figure it out. You're going to find out what it is. It may happen suddenly, like we said, things were cool and going normally, and then there's this, this shock or this revelation that comes through, and you figure it out. You know what this is about, and this is great because it helps you see things in a different way. And I think this is going to pour into the decision of going into a new direction and letting go of this. So it's very possible that I'm not seeing bad news as such, but I don't think it aligns with you. It helps you make a decision. It helps you turn away. And I think this is important, and I think this is good for you. In the second row, we've got the child, man, and garden, and we mentioned about this when we talked about how it T crosses this column. This can be a new relationship in this new environment, or it can be the idea that you move away from this person and whatever is around him as you turn away and make this new change, this new thing that you're moving into. I think it's time to turn the page, refresh yourself a little bit, and certainly move away from toxic people. The tree, mouse, and snake is very potent in this regard. The tree is usually a card of health and healing. It can also point to growth and maturity. And when we see the mouse and snake, there could have been some challenges here, probably a stressful situation, but you know what? You are over it, and it's time for you to move on. I think with the tree and mouse, we see that things weren't really growing. Things weren't really moving forward. You know what I mean? It's like you've given it a chance. You've tried. You've been patient with it, and it's not working out. So you know what? With the snake, just move away. And so this information here gives you this insight, this perspective that tells you that this is not the right situation, this is not the right people, this is not the right direction. Time to move away. And I think what happens with a card like the Star is that you get a sense that this is a sign. So it's more than just what you're seeing in life and what you can process rationally, but you get this insight, this idea that, you know what, this is not really right. I can see now very clearly, and I'm just going to move away. And the nice thing about these cards is that they are calm. You know, yes, there's the scythe that helps to make this revelation come through, this information come through, but it's not so much about your action. I really feel that the action is more focused in the snake and, you know, the tree in this new beginnings. And so they're sort of quiet and calm, and they help you move away in a calm way. So I feel you have that sense of conviction that is really well supported by the Star. You have faith, you know, you understand. You understand not just the facts, but you understand below the surface, and so you move away calmly. And so what's nice about the scythe in this context is that you are very convinced about your decision to move away. You have the conviction, you have that anchor, you know what I mean? So this is a nice set of cards that help you see clearly what this person and the environment they're part of are about. It helps you make a sharp decision. There's a revelation that comes through, important news comes through, and you're able to make the decision to move away. And the Star is really lovely because it aligns with your wishes. So this change is going to help you move into a new beginning that is aligned with your goals. So a lovely set of cards. Be calm, be perceptive, be discerning, be patient for the information to come through, because it is going to give you everything you need, along with your good faith in yourself, to make a very important change. So let me know what you make of these cards. They are very interesting in my opinion. You know, there's a lot going on, but it's sort of happening inside, outside. You know, there's that interesting balance between the two. And so I'm looking forward to your comments. I'm really looking forward what you make of them, what you see happening for yourself through these cards. Leave me your comments. I'm looking forward to them. And until we meet again, thank you so much for tuning in, and take very good care of yourself. Welcome to your reading, Hook People group. So I've got your lovely hook here. What's really interesting is that there's the little word hope that is written or sort of engraved on this side of the hook. It's so pretty. Here we are with your reading. I've got my deck shuffled, and for your reading I want to do a double line of 5. Remember that we're looking at what's ahead for you a month from now. Always good to know, a good timeline, 1 month. And the double line of 5 is a layout that I like to deal out. So I like to shuffle the cards a little bit more, just to shuffle them proper, but also to seal the intention. All right, let us deal out your double line. All right, some very, very, very pretty cards. I really like the fish, you know, with the hook. I'm vegan, I don't like animal violence, but because the fish is the card of money, I feel that symbolically the hook can mean that you come across money. So it's possible that the symbol is interacting with our cards, but even without the symbol, I mean, look at these amazing cards. We've got the star, flowers, and fish, the clover, the child, and the heart. All of these are lovely cards, especially when they're coming together. It's very obvious that this is very good for money, prosperity. There's possibly a new job or a new source of income because of the child. I'm not seeing any negative cards, so this is also another pretty sign coming through. Let's, without further ado, get into the lines. They're so exciting. Top line, star, flowers, fish, lily, and bear. Other than these beautiful cards, wish fulfillment, all good things, the combination of the lily and bear jumps out. This is a special combination that I inherit from Titania's fortune cards. It has to do with legal affairs, with the law. So there could be something important that's happening with a legal grounding in terms of your money and finances. The star, flowers, and fish is all around wish fulfillment for money and income. This can be a new source of income, a renewed source of income. A lot of creativity and abundance is coming through. And with the lily and bear, there is this idea of the legal element or the legal aspect coming through. So this could be a contract, or a business deal, or, something that has a strong backing for you. So any way you look at these cards, they're very powerful for money and prosperity. In the bottom line, we have the Tower, Clover, Road, Child, and Heart. Very obvious that there's a new beginning coming through the Road and Child. And with the Heart on the other side of the Child, it's very obviously something that you want to pursue, that makes you happy to pursue this, and the Tower and Clover confirm this. Now, the Tower can be about the past. It tends to refer to the past and the long term, the idea of time, the idea of things unfolding over time. And with the Clover, it's possible that you'd been waiting for this for a long time, and now you finally get it and you're able to move forward. So again, this can be a new job, a new source of income, a new project that has a lucrative element, and it is really exciting for you. You're very excited to make that change, to pursue this new project, this new job, or to make that money happen. It is so exciting for you. The Star and Tower is excellent for wish fulfillment. Again, there is that idea that you'd been waiting for it for some time, and it finally materializes. The Flowers and Clover are faster than the Tower, so they do have that element of, finally it's happened, finally it's coming through. Obviously, this is about wish fulfillment. Any way you look at these diagonals here. The Fish and Road is a successful path ahead in terms of money and abundance. You really could be upping your sense of prosperity, and I certainly encourage you to do that, to express gratitude and to allow this abundance to come into your life. The Lily and Child can point to a new job or a new career. The Lily is the card of jobs and career. It's more about career and life path than, your 9-to-5 job proper. For that, the Fox is better. But still, in the context here, it can point to a job, or, in our day-to-day lives, it can point to work. And so it's pretty clear to me that you're in for a new job. So there's definitely a new path unfolding for you, as we saw in the bottom line. And then we've got the Bear and Heart, and this is lovely for all things that make you happy. This is an important thing that's happening for you. You've got a big heart, you're ambitious, you really are sensing that possibility for you to become bigger, to make more money than you have before, and so I really think you should embrace your prosperity. You really should embrace the possibilities, because it can happen for you. So from now to a month from now, line yourself up for this prosperity. Express gratitude. Every day is my advice. Every day do these lovely affirmations. And you can make this happen. You can make this new job, this new source of income, this new business, this new collaboration, whatever it is in your specifics. Abundance and prosperity is totally possible for you. So do really seriously embrace it. Let's wrap up with some diagonals here. Star, Clover, Fish, Child, and Bear. Obviously, this is a wish fulfillment line that points to your money hopes materializing and an important new beginning. You could make a lot more money than you have before, and so this can prove to be really exciting for you. And then the Tower, Flowers, Road, Lily, and Heart points to a renewal from the past, the idea of refreshing yourself after a long time to move into a new wonderful career direction here. It's really going to make you happy. It very much aligns with what you want. So definitely embrace that change and take that step forward. Use your creativity, let yourself go. Embrace yourself in your inner creativity, embrace your potential. And I want to say, because of the Lily and Bear, they're related to the law and things like that. If there is fine print or things you need to look at more closely, definitely do that. And if you need an expert, definitely enroll one to help you out with this. So this is a lovely set of cards, really. So many wonderful cards are happening together. Make the best of it, embrace your good and your prosperity, and be sure to circle back and to let me know how it played out. I'm really looking forward to your comments. So until we meet again, best of luck with this, and thank you so much for watching. All right, welcome to the coin reading. I've got this little coin here with some Arabic calligraphy for you. It is so pretty. Let's keep it on the side. And remember that we are looking at what's ahead for you a month from now. So for this reading, I want to do a medium-sized diamond. And I've got my deck shuffled as always. And I like to deal out the cards for this one. And I'm just shuffling a little bit more to seal the intention for you. And let's deal out these cards. All right, here are your cards for the coin group here, and we have some challenges. We have a major release happening. We're seeing this through the Scythe and Mouse, and what's really nice is the stork, especially that it's on the right-hand side, the rightmost side of the medium-sized diamond. We have the positive sun. The bird can be a bit challenging, but it's also active, so it helps move things forward. And it's really the mouse in the middle of it all that could be a bit off-putting. But the thing about the mouse is that it is negative, but it's not very strongly negative. So it's not like a whip or a scythe when it's accompanied with more negative cards, or a coffin, for example. The mouse tends to be just about little speed bumps here and there, glitches coming up, and is also a really good warning sign to have you watch the small things so that they don't get out of hand and become into bigger problems. So let's start weaving the lines and put this diamond together for you. The central row is the scythe, mouse, and stork. Now, I actually like this combination because of the stork mainly. The stork is a card that releases, it helps you change, it helps you shake things off. And when we see it with the scythe and mouse, we see that you really need to let go of something that isn't working, of a situation that is draining. It could be a person, it could be something like an energy vampire. You know, those types of people who are just unhelpful. They're always whining and, you know, you can't trust them, you can't rely on them. They say they're going to do things and they never do them. And so what we're seeing here is that you're able to let go of this. So, you know, you're like, that's it, finish, I'm letting go of this and I'm moving on, and you do. And so I think that is really bright. With the central column, I think there is something similar that comes through. The sun is an all-around positive card. It is one of the brightest cards of the deck, and it has to do with everything good: success, wish fulfillment, healing, completion, you know, that idea of reaching the top. And when we see it with something like the mouse and bird, it helps you really shed light onto the issue. So the mouse could have been this situation that is, you know, not really clear where it's heading. And then with the sun, you have clarity. It's all about light and seeing. And what's nice about the bird, and I know it comes on the other side of the mouse, which means that it can bring out the negative aspects of the mouse, but I like it here because the bird is a vocal card. So it helps you speak out, express yourself. So I feel that with this combination with the sun, and in light of the central row, I feel that you're no longer going to be stuck. We see through the mouse that you're sort of stuck, you know, and that you break out of it in the central row. And in the central column, I feel that you're no longer stuck and you're able to speak your mind. You're able to say enough. You're able to say, wait, what is going on here? You know, so I think it's really bright in this sense. I feel that with this the central cross, basically, these two important lines of the central diamond, I feel that you're able to break out of that sense of doubt, you know, where you were hesitating and just wobbling and not sure what's going on. And with the scythe and the stork and the sun and the bird, I feel you're able to overcome this kind of state of doubt and hesitation and just break out of it and speak out. So I think that is really bright. It's also advised to do that. So, you know, if you're in this situation where you're not sure what's going on, it feels icky, it doesn't feel right, you're sick of it, something is wrong, you're going to say, stop, what is going on here? And if you're not getting an answer, you know what, I'm moving on. And the stork very much helps you with that. Let's move on to the square cards. Woman, Tower, Cross, and House. That's an interesting set of cards. They're kind of neutral. Of course, this person here is implicated. So with the Tower, with the House, it can mean someone older like a parent, family member. And the Cross here can cause some challenges, especially with the mouse. And so it's possible that the situation is happening with this person and you need to bring clarity on the situation. So the Woman and Tower can point to, like I said, someone older than you. With the House, it can mean a parent, but it can also be in the context of a job where it can refer to a manager, for example, or someone senior, someone older, possibly someone you've known for a long time. And so with the mouse here in the middle of it all, There could be a situation with this person, things aren't really clear, things aren't really transparent or out in the light. And with the cross, it can mean, in light of these two cards, especially the Tower, that this is something you'd been dealing with for a while. And so it's time to bring this, situation that's sort of below the surface out into the open. It needs to be dealt with. It's been going on for a while. And really, the message of the mouse is important because it tells you that it's time to do this. Like, you don't want to delay beyond the month. We're reading for 1 month. You don't want to delay more because it can grow into something bigger and it doesn't need to be. Keep it under control and deal with it now or a month from now. Let's tie up with the diagonals. The woman, mouse, and cross. Yes, this is a challenging combination. The mouse brings out the challenging aspect of the cross. It can mean something heavy, something that's been weighing on you. The person can be heavy. She can sort of be heavy, burdensome and things like that. Tiresome. And with the house, mouse, and tower, again, this idea that it's been going on for a while. The house and tower can point to the place or the context. It can point to family, a place from the past, a place you'd been part of for a while. And now it's sort of dragging, so now it's time to deal with it. No more wobbling, no more hesitation, no more the situation that's, weighing you down. It's really time to get it off your shoulders and deal with it. Now let's tie up with more cards in the sides of the diamond. We've got the Sun, Tower, and Stork. This is a lovely combination because it's about freedom and relief and release. So this situation that had been dragging for a while that we saw in this diagonal, it T-crosses this side of the diamond. And so it points to the idea that you are going to release yourself from it. So this is a wonderful message. We've got the Stork, Cross, and Bird. This can mean an important conversation that needs to be had. It ties into what we saw into the central column, the idea that the bird is vocal and it helps you express yourself. So the idea is, if you're hesitating about something or you have doubts about it, then maybe you should start asking questions. Maybe you should just take it off, get it off your chest and, start talking about it. Now, the cross can mean that this is a bit difficult, because it's not so easy to approach this person with this conversation, but I think that it's necessary. We see that this side T crosses this diagonal, so it's probably a conversation with this woman. And then we've got the Bird, House, and Scythe. So this can be an important announcement or, something is out into the open, especially with the Bird and House. And with the Scythe, you can sort of break free and break this thing open. And what's really nice is that it ties back into the Sun. So it's really nice to see that with the Scythe woman and Sun, you realize that it was the right thing to do, to bring this thing up, to talk about it, to no longer allow it to sort of drag and be something that is going on that is heavy and unhelpful and annoying. It's really a good thing that you bring it out into the open. What's interesting is that the other person can feel this way. It's not just you, so there could be this funny energy that's been going on for a while. And it's like breaking the silence or breaking the ice or, breaking this situation that's sort of stuck. And the other person is actually going to be feeling relieved as well. So that's a bonus. And so again, there is this idea that it would be a good thing to deal with this, to make that change, to break out of it, to talk about it, to deal with it. Whatever this specific situation is for you, there's something off about it that needs to be dealt with. And I think a month from now is a good time for you to deal with it. So if you want to give it more time, go for it. But I think beyond the month, you don't want to do that because then things are going to get out of hand and the mouse is going to go into this bigger thing. And it doesn't need to. It doesn't need to go into this bigger thing. You can prevent that from happening by having the right conversation and by just breaking out of this wobbliness and hesitation that you've been dealing with for a while. And like I said, this can happen in a number of contexts for you. I mean, the cards are pretty open about that. We've got the House and Tower. Either one or both of them can refer to the job or the home, or it can point to, a group that you've been part of where there's this person and this situation with this person. So this is flexible as far as the cards are concerned. So do let me know where you see this playing out. But the key is really to no longer wobble, to no longer hesitate. And, you know, if you've got an issue with this person, well, you know, maybe you need to make a point about that. And don't trust them when you can't trust them, you know. Conserve yourself and guard yourself. And if you need to take a stand, take a stand, but don't let the situation drag on anymore. Now, the good news is that we have the sun at the top. That's a really nice position for a bright card. And we have the stork on the right-hand side, which is the future-most aspect of the reading. So I really feel that you can get over this. You can break out of this, and you really should, you know. And I think the takeaway is the advice, you know, to really lock in your decision and to get some clarity on the matter so that you can move on and deal with it. So this is a very active set of cards, very proactive kind of advice. I hope you take it to heart and take the situation into your own hands so that you can deal with it, and let me know how it plays out for you. Circle back, come back to the reading, and let me know how it played out for you. I'm really looking forward to your comments. So I hope this is helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. Until we meet again, I want to say thank you so much for watching, and take very good care of yourself. All right, here we are with my cards again, and this is for the Goblet group, and I've got your super pretty little goblet here. It's a bit bigger than my other charms, but I love it. I think I'm going to keep it standing here instead of having it lie down. And of course, I've got my deck. It is always shuffled between readings, and remember that we are looking at what's ahead for you a month from now. For your reading, I want to do an augmented line of 7, and I like to deal the cards for this one, so let's go right ahead and deal out your cards. All right, Goblet group, here we are with your cards. Yes, there is the whip right in the center of your augmented line, and we have the coffin and garden. But we do have the lovely star at the bottom here, and the bottom side of an augmented line, or any reading, really, any layout, usually has to do with what manifests. And so I think that this could be something of a blessing in disguise that is happening for you. We have some indication of context here. The fish is the card of money, so it could be related to that. We also have the house, which can point to home and family, or where you live. And I really think you could be moving. And even though it's a bit turbulent and it's maybe not exactly what you want, it does turn out to be a good thing for you. So let's start weaving these cards together. The fish, rider, and mouse, along with the whip. Wow, what does that mean? The fish and rider usually has to do with financial transactions, income, money coming in, money going out, you know, having to run errands with money, pay this or do that or get that. And when I see the mouse and whip together here, it points to challenges in this area. With the house, it can mean, you know, related to your anything that has to do with the home. It can point to your rent. It can point to other things you're doing around the home, like renovations and things like that. And because of the challenges here, it looks like you aren't going to be able to do them. So we see the coffin on the other side of the house, and the garden, which is a bit like the house. It has to do with that sense of place. And so it's probably a good time to postpone spending on your home. It's probably a good time to avoid spending on renovations. They could meet with challenges. Maybe you're not able to make ends meet right now. Maybe it's too expensive right now. It's also possible that there's an issue with your home or where you rent, and you decide to leave. And, you know, when we see the coffin and garden on the other side of the house, it has to do with this idea of absence, with the idea possibly of leaving this place because of the financial issues or material issues that are connected with this house. Now, the cards can also point to the job. That's because the house can be related to where you work. It can point to, you know, the team on the job. It can also point to your business. And with these cards here, the challenges here, it's possible that there are some challenges, that you leave, that there are some changes. Maybe there are some furloughs, you know, things that are on hold, things that can't happen right now, probably because of financial limitations. It sort of puts things on hold, and maybe you need to take time out. Now, what's nice is that the book, whip, and star can turn out to your advantage, especially the star. So the book and whip has to do with a revelation, probably bad news, sometimes misinformation or lack of information. I don't think this idea of information or lack of it applies so much in this context. I think it's more about bad news or, the challenges that are related to what's been going on here. But the star is an all-around wish fulfillment card. So I feel that either you can resolve this challenge or it turns out to be good for you. Except that when it happens here, you don't really see that it can be good for you. It might take a bit for you to realize that there's actually a really positive side to this. So what could be happening for you, Goblet group, is that there is an issue that comes up. It's probably driven by money or material matters. It affects where you live, where you work, and it can send you off to take time off, or it can ask you to postpone any expenditures or things that you're doing around the home. It's also possible that you're not able to pay rent right now, or there are challenges with anything related to financial transactions that relate to the home. It's also possible on the job that the money's not coming in, that there are budget cuts and financial challenges, and so this is what could be at play right now. However, with this lovely column here, despite the challenges, something good comes out of it. It's just that in the midst of it, you don't really see it for what it is just yet. Let's get more out of these cards by drawing these diamonds. We've got the mouse, book, house, and star. This is a lovely combination, mainly because of the house and star. The mouse and book points to these issues that we were talking about. They could have been hidden issues. There could have been sort of traps, in the fine print and things like that. And this could have been something pending, like what we're saying here. But with the house and star, and then star and mouse, we see that you're able to resolve this. The rider, book, coffin, and star, and there's going to be the star in all of the diamonds, and that's what's so nice about the star being in this position. We see that there is an ending. So the rider, book, and coffin is that ending. It's just that maybe you don't see it just yet. So you could be closing a chapter. And actually with the star, it is a very good thing because it's going to move you away, redirect you from the current situation into a better one. It's just that it can feel a bit challenging when you're going through it. With the fish, book, garden, and star, and I love to see this. And the thing about the outer diamond is that it is the diamond that manifests. So you go from the inner diamonds, which is the hidden aspect of the reading, to the outer ones, which is what manifests. The fish, book, garden, and star is a really good combination for all things money. And so you might not know this yet, but this redirection is going to lead you to better prosperity, to a better place, probably a better job if the whole thing is about the job or work or business. And it could really help you materialize some of your financial goals. It's just that in the midst of it, you're not seeing it yet. So this is the challenging aspect of this draw here, is that there's a challenging thing going on. You're going through a tough time. There are changes. Some things are on hold, budgets are cut, things like that on the home front or at work. But what is actually happening is that this is a redirection that is going to lead you to a much better place in terms of money, prosperity, where you work. And the idea is that it's a blessing in disguise. You see what I mean? So that's the tricky part of the reading, but it's really nice to see the star. It's part of every one of those diamonds, and it helps you turn this around. It's just asking you to be patient and to have faith until you pass this bottleneck, because you're going to be in a better place. So I want you to keep in mind that if a month from now you find yourself in a sticky situation, it is probably a redirection. And you know how redirections can be, they can be uncomfortable, they can rock your boat, they can throw a lot of obstacles in your way, and we don't really see them beyond the challenge that they are, but they could be a blessing in disguise and this notion of redirection. So behind these challenges, there is this new sense of hope, there's a healing and a blessing that comes through. It's like you have to go through these bottlenecks, to move yourself closer to what is in your highest good. And I really feel that this is what could be happening here. So I want to make a suggestion. I want to suggest that when you go through this challenge, as much as you can, that you try to see it as a bottleneck, as a transition. Try to get a sense of what could be behind it. what could be on the flip side of it, like what could be the blessing in disguise. And also, if you need to make a change, make that change. You may need to confront someone, confront something, and that's okay. It's part of life. And be willing to let it go once it's gone, okay? So I want you to try not to hang on and to have faith that something good and better is coming in for you. It is here. It's in the star. I'm not just giving you a pep talk. It's in the card, right? It's in the bottom side of the garden. And remember, this beautiful outer diamond here, it has a lot of blessing and prosperity for you. So hang in there. Go through that bottleneck as best as you can, and realize that on the other side of this, there is something really good coming your way. So hold on until you're past this, until you're on the other side of this. It is coming. Let me know what you make of these ideas. I hope you're able to manage this well. Be sure to circle back and let me know how it went. I'm really looking forward to your thoughts and your comments. And until we meet again, thank you so much for watching, and take very good care of yourself. Welcome, Feather Group. Here we are with your beautiful charm here, this feather with a hole that's like a peacock feather. And I've got my deck for you. It is shuffled. Of course it is. I always shuffle it between readings. And remember that for this reading, we are looking at what's ahead for you a month from now. So for your reading, I feel like doing a portrait spread, and normally I like to fan out the deck and select the cards from the fanned out deck, but this time I feel like dealing the cards. So let's go ahead and deal your 9 cards for your portrait. Oh, wow. Look at these cards. You could be traveling a month from now. That is exciting. Is everything in view? Perfect. These are lovely cards. These are lovely cards. The ship on your first card, the first cover card, and then the mountain and the road and the snake. You know, you could be moving somewhere. You could be traveling. You know, the key is a very good card. There is this person here that comes into play, and then the tricky fox in the middle, though this could be about work and business. So let's tune in more a little bit into the first and central card before we get into the rows and columns and diagonals and all that. So the ship is about travel. You could be traveling, you could be moving, but it's also about adventure. It's a card that is not tied down. You know, it asks you to explore and expand your horizons. So that's definitely advice for you a month from now. And then the fox in the center here can take on a number of different meanings. The main 2 ones are in relationships, like we see here. The fox can be tricky. It can be someone who is not transparent, who's a little bit two-faced, and so on. And the fox can also refer to the job as a 9-to-5 employment. You know, it's a card of discipline. It's actually really good with families too, because it tends to be self-interested. So it's very protective of its home and family. So it does have that interesting positive aspect. So these 2 things could be coming into play. Now let's start weaving the lines. Ship, fox, and snake. So because the fox and snake are both tricky cards, when they come together, the tricky parts of tricky aspects, of the fox come through with the snake. And with the ship, you could be turning away. You could be moving. You could decide that you're gonna, change and do something different. And the nice thing about both of these cards, despite their challenging aspects, is that they're self-interested cards. And with the ship as your cover card, I really feel that this is about you exploring your opportunities, exploring your possibilities. I really feel that it's a time for some freedom for you. You need to let yourself loose from anything that's tying you down or that's restricting you. You need more freedom. You need inspiration. And, going out and going places and discovering different people and places, experimenting with different things. It's something that you need to do for yourself at this time. Now, when it comes to people, and there is this person card, it could mean that they disappoint you somehow. It's also possible that you want to move away from them. And I say that because the ship is your cover card, If it were not the cover card, if let's say the heart was the cover card and the ship was closer to the man here, elsewhere, it can mean that you are more attached to them than they are and they want to let you go. But because the ship is your cover card, I feel that you want to sort of break free. Even if you're in a relationship, even if it's not a very committed relationship, you sort of want to, you want to break, you want to change, you want a different perspective. So I think it's a good time to pursue this. The thing about the snake is that it can be gentle in the sense that it's diplomatic, it's calm, and the fox is too, so there's no need to be aggressive about this. You can just sort of say, that you want to do something different for a while. You're entitled to do your own thing. What's nice here is that the man, fox, and key is a positive combination because of the key mainly. So the fox and man can mean that this is someone who is not particularly transparent. They can be half-hearted, or maybe they feel the same way as you do, and that's super good. And that could be what's coming through with the key. And they're also understanding. So if you need your space and you need to take time out, take a break, they understand that. So they're actually going to support you. Maybe they don't want to see you go just yet. Maybe it's not the right time for them, but for you, it looks good and you should do it. And so I think this person can be supportive after all. If this is about love, like a more intimate thing, it's possible that he feels the same way about you, that you feel that this isn't a commitment yet, and you just sort of want to do your own thing for a while. And that's totally fine. Another thing that can come through here is the job thing. So you could be moving jobs, you could be changing jobs or renegotiating some things about your job. And this person really comes in handy and supportive. So it's very likely that you can get what you want, especially when it comes to the job. So these are some good cards. Now let's move on to the columns. Let's go for the columns. The ship, heart, and man. Again, I'm seeing this as a supportive person. And this is someone who understands your need for adventure and change. And by the way, let me just backtrack a bit. Even though there's the heart, the man doesn't have to be a friend or someone you're romantically involved with or your partner. It can represent someone else on the job. It can be a colleague. It can be a boss. It can be a friend, or someone else who is supportive or who's otherwise involved in your affairs. So he comes through really supportive, and we see this through the key in the second diagonal and through the heart with the man here. It's also possible that you travel with someone or you travel to meet this person. So maybe you were exploring a relationship. Maybe it could have been a long distance thing for a while, and now you say, that's it, we're going to meet each other. So maybe you travel to him, he travels to you, that's possible, or you travel somewhere together. And the thing about the ship and mountain and these travel cards in Lenormand is that they don't have to represent somewhere really far. It can be somewhere nearby. It doesn't have to be a different country. It could just be a different town or a different city. In the second column, mountain, fox, and road. So again, this travel element comes into play because both the road and mountain are about travel. The fox can be a bit tricky here. So it can be a bit of a disappointing trip, or maybe it's not exactly what you want it to be. If you're meeting this person, we're going to see here that it doesn't turn out to be the right person. If you're exploring someone and you travel or you do this trip to meet this person, it turns out not to be ideal. With the job thing, you could be moving for a job. So for the job thing, it's much more positive than for the relationship thing. You also want to use this column as an advice to, to take time out for yourself. So, this ties into this idea of exploring and taking a break and stuff. It's time to spend it on your own. So a month from now, take a break, sort of, go away on your own, do your own thing for a different kind of perspective. You're entitled to that. And then the key, cross, and snake, pretty clear to me that you make the decision, you decide that this is not right for you. So again, I think this interpretation ties into this possibility that, this prospect that you're exploring for a relationship. You meet and you decide that this isn't going to work out, and the key actually advises you that this is not ideal, this is not the best thing for you. When it comes to the job, though, it takes on a different interpretation, and it is about the idea that this could be right for you, that you should move away from the past and take on this opportunity, this job thing here that could be carried by the fox. So really, it's an interesting set of cards. In a broader sense, the key and cross are both really spiritual cards. So they could be about the deeper lessons, really connecting with your priorities, your sense of instinct, your sense of inner knowing and your own spirituality. And with the snake, it helps you turn away from whatever it is, a relationship that isn't working out, a job that isn't working out. It encourages you to explore your options and your own self, and to get a sense of what's priority for you. So the cards have that spiritual element. And travel helps us with these sort of quests. You know what I mean? So it could be a good time for this. Let's move on to the rose. The ship, mountain, key. This is a very clear combination, triplet, that tells us that you should travel, that you could have answers when you travel, that traveling or taking a trip, no matter how far, will give you insight and perspective. So definitely encouraged to make a change. Now, in case the mountain represents a blockage, it sort of can. I don't think it does, because there's so many travel cards, and the ship is your cover card. You get over them, you succeed. Okay, you overcome them. The key is an all-around success card. Then we've got the heart, fox, and cross. This is interesting, a bit heavy. So the heart and fox is definitely someone who's half-hearted. It can also mean that this relationship doesn't really work out. Notice that this central row T crosses this column, and so it can be a continuation or a clarification of the cards. With the fox and cross, this isn't really meant to be, and this ties in nicely with this. So this is an H structure in the portrait. And the key, cross, and snake told us pretty clearly in the context of relationships, and you see how they continue, right? It is not meant to be. So maybe this is a relationship that you've been exploring, but we see that this is not going to be the right one for you. This is a key output of the readings, a key way of interpreting these cards. And like we said, it can point to the job. And with the job thing, though, it's a bit better. It's actually much better. It's more encouraging. It's just that in the context of the job with the snake, you want to be cautious and careful as you make this transition, because, if it's a new environment, if it's a new set of people, a new team that you're sort of connecting with, keep some things to yourself. You don't know them all that well yet. Diplomacy and all of that come into play. Okay, bottom row. Man, road, and snake. This is definitely turning away from someone. So again, when it comes to a relationship, the answer is very, very clear. Explore the option, explore this person, spend time with them, see what they're like. But I really feel that your conclusion is going to be that they're not right for you and that you're going to move on. And the cards also ask you to be more aware, so they invite you to consider more deeply if this is someone who is going to be right for you. And I think the answer is no. But again, that is your work to do. The cards are here to support you. In the context of work, you could be moving on from a previous employer, or you could be taking a break from this person. And, they're okay with that, like we saw here, right? Like we saw here. The snake and road is definitely a parting of sorts. So taking time out, taking a break, and moving away from this person, at least for a while. So overall, feather group, there are changes here. Travel, moves, taking a break, taking time out, exploring, getting out of wherever you are is really in the cards for you a month from now. You want to take a break and do your own thing for a while, explore your options. If you're exploring a relationship, that is great, but I think the conclusion is going to be that it is not going to be the right person for you. And if this is about a job, well, you could be moving into a new job that looks good. It's just that when you make the transition, just be careful as you settle in, or, you're working with a different group of people, and, that kind of general cautionary stuff. So overall, an interesting set of cards. Transition would be the keyword, I think, or one of the keywords. Being careful and aware is very important as well. Tune into your instincts. Trust yourself to know the right answers. If it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. Honor that. Dig into it. See what else you can get out of it. And otherwise, I think you are entitled to some time out. I think that's really the key. Not transition, but really time out and exploring your options. Definitely explore your options. Don't tie yourself down. Don't limit yourself. Don't restrict yourself, not with people, places, jobs, anything. Go out and experience what you need to experience. Spend time with yourself. You're entitled to it. And enjoy it. Enjoy it. I think you're going to come back with answers and insights like we saw in a couple of lines. Looks really good, and so you can make it fun. So a really interesting set of cards here for you, Feather Group. Let me know how you like it. Let me know what you make of it. Do come back and leave me comments about what you made out of this. So thank you so much for tuning in, and until we meet again, take very good care of yourself.